We are painting ourselves into quite a niche this week, aren't we? This makes number 3 for the Rode Wireless Go in a row. Gonna have to dial it back a little bit after this. Just wanted to give you guys another update. So if some of you guys saw my last video, Rode Wireless Go 2, the review out of all of them. There was a part of that video where I used the Rode Wireless Go 2 with the Rode Interview Go, and I read out a sponsorship for that video sponsor, and it clipped like crazy. I had the microphone clipped on my shirt earlier on, and I had the level set for being down here on my chest and not directly in line of sight of my mouth. And then I just popped it on the Rode Interview Go and shoved it up to my mouth. So anyway, the microphone was clipping like crazy. The audio sounded terrible. So Rode had their Australian gangsters come down to the US and get in touch with me. They pulled me in a van, drove me to a dark alleyway, tickled the shit out of me, peed my pants, and then they were like, bloody hell, what the? No, wait, that's English. For some reason, I have Peaky Blinders stuck in my head right now, and it's a completely different type of talk. Mr. Shelby, Grace. Oh, that's a lot of... No, that's Scott. That's Scott. I feel like Australians either have high-pitched voices or like really deep, like I'll murder you voices. They're either like, hey, g'day, mate. Yeah, that's right. I gotta say, that looks really, really nice. Then you get the tough guys and they're like, hey, that's right. What about it? Sure, I could do that. Oh, that's off. That's like an English Australian. So after they roughed me up a little bit, they let me out the trunk and they said, don't ever screw up our audio ever again and make us look bad. And then I got home and I realized these transmitters record backup audio, and I had it set to uncompressed, and that audio was easily fixable. Look, I'll show you the original now, and then I'll show you what it sounds like with the uncompressed version that I extracted from the transmitter. Crazy. I recently shot a commercial for a client in Newark, New Jersey for her real estate business. I did. Melanie, what up? How you doing, homie? And when I sat down to edit, I realized how short I really was on B-roll shots. I recently shot a commercial for a client in Newark, New Jersey for her real estate business. I did. Melanie, what up? How you doing, homie? And when I sat down to edit, I realized how short I really was on B-roll shots. I recently shot a commercial for a client. I recently shot a commercial for a client. I recently shot a commercial for a client. So after you plug in each transmitter, make sure they're both up to date and make sure the record button is switched on each one separately. Plug in your receiver, and for me, I like to come over here and have gain mode set to fine instead of coarse. Coarse, they kind of just make changes in big chunks, low, medium, high. When you click on fine, you have a lot more control over it. And this doesn't only apply to the app, these changes will take place on the receiver itself. So when you go and mess with your DB button, you're gonna now have fine controls instead of coarse controls. And right here you have merged or split mode. Now if you go to merge mode, you can have a safety channel. So you can still record on 2 separate channels and be in merged mode at the same time. And then you can come over here and enable your safety channel, which will give you 2 audio channels, but both will be merged. So both mic'd people will be on each track. And then, my friends, is that you are all set. So when we first open the app and plug in our transmitter, after we make sure we're all up to date, we can see right here in the left column is our recordings that are stored on the transmitter itself. So when you come into settings, first off, you want to make sure that your record button is set to on. I really see no benefit to having this turned off at all. It should just always be on. Now, if you come right here to our recording settings, we have standard quality, which is compressed, which will, if this is empty, give you 40 plus hours of audio stored into each receiver. I like uncompressed. It's a lot higher quality, a lot bigger file sizes, and on an empty transmitter, you're gonna get about 7 hours. Now, when we come to our export tab here, we could choose WAV or MP3. I'm gonna usually stick with WAV, and we could choose 24 bits or 32-bit float. Even 24-bit is gonna give you more headroom than what you're recording directly into your camera. So if you find yourself clipping a little bit, you might not even really have to deal with the 32-bit float. It's not gonna make a difference as far as actual sound quality. It just gives you a lot more headroom. But maybe you go to like a show or a concert and you're trying to get as clean of audio as humanly possible, then you're definitely going to want to use the backup audio that is stored on your transmitter. Come over here and select 32-bit float. And you should be able to bring any clipping audio you have back down to a normal level. No problem. Get the fuck off of me. Jesus, why, I should have just took the seatbelt off. The fact that we can get 32-bit audio out of a Rode Wireless Go is insane. When you're working with 32-bit float audio, you have so much more headroom. It's almost impossible to clip. If YouTube allowed me to replace my audio with my own audio instead of just their music tracks that they have available, I would have been able to replace the poorly clipped audio, which was due to the camera, by the way. Actually, it wasn't even from the microphone. Could have saved that video. Could have saved that part of the video right there, but it'll forever be on the internet looking like a damn rook. And just in case you might have been confused by the title of this video, there actually is an update. There's a firmware update for the microphone and there's an update for the app itself. So first go update the app, then use the app to update the firmware for the microphones. And don't forget, you have to plug in each transmitter separately and update them separately. I'm just baffled at the fact that you guys were able to sneak your gangsters into the country, pull me into a van, beat the shit out of me, and then get back out of the country the same night without having to go through a 14-day quarantine. How'd you guys manage that? That's the impressive thing here.